This wipe, I took on one of my toughest challenges yet and went back to US Moose Monthly and put my base in the middle of a literal zerg warzone. This server is known to be home to massive territorial zergs, and I was going to try and defend my tiny patch of land against these zergs. To get any footing in the snow though, I was going to need to get there straight away, so I spawned in and attempted to make it through the new Rust jungle. Hello all, we are back. I'm on US Moose Monthly again. It's Force Wipe. I'm about 3.5 hours late to it because I've just gotten off a plane, which means everyone's probably going to have rockets by now, which makes things even more interesting. I'm going to try and carve out a small piece of territory in the deep snow right in the middle of all of the Zerg war zones and see what happens and film it. But for now I need to get through this jungle, which apparently is a bit of a nightmare at the moment, so wish me luck. We're going to try and get to Outpost and then head out to the deep snow. And so it begins. Where did that come from? If I make it through this jungle, you have to subscribe at least. You get solid content out of it. One health. What can go wrong? For those of you who don't know about this server, it is like a famous Zerg server. You get like 1,000 pop, mega 50-man, 60-man Zergs on it. This time around they have made it premium, so I think the pop will probably drop to around the 700 mark. Hopefully less cheaters. But it just means that going where I'm going is going to be an experience, to say the least. I don't know how I survived that. Don't do it. Alright, good. I need to get some stuff together. Just put a bag down outside Outpost. Then we'll work on some materials to go inland to get a starter. And then from there, just have a bit of a look around where all the Zergs are. Then build a proper starter. That is insane. Like, progression in this game is an issue at the moment, and the Zergs have it down to a fine art, to the point where there's a bed plat in front of that base 3.5 hours into wipe. And I'm going in that direction too, so if I don't play it smart, there's probably going to be a bed plat in front of my 2x1. After having already survived a Zerg in the form of jungle animals, I made it to the outpost. The plan was to venture inland and try to find a suitable spot to put a proper starter down. I had to be on my A game in this wipe in terms of staying alive, as I already had a glimpse into what could happen if I made one wrong move. It is getting dark, but this can work in my favour. I can get as far as I can on one life. I'll die to the cold, but I can get these 2 bags down. And if I make it to the mining outpost, I'll be happy because I could just respawn the next day and use it as a staging point to get like a 1x1 down. But my concern is with this mining outpost is it's surrounded by a lot of other monuments. So I reckon there'll be like a big Zerg there holding it down to get their start too. So I'm going to have to work in with them and try not die to them, but we'll give it a go. Excellent. Hopefully no one cuts it up. Oh, see, the crumbs of Zergs are like treasure to me. I have no base, so I'd be surprised if I get away with any of this, but go down and recycle and see if we can get some more bags. Yep, group's got this on lock. Think I have to wait for dark again to do the next part. When the sun comes up, I'm going to take a couple bags and go for a bit of a scout, but I'm thinking P27 area or I-26 might be a good spot for a starter. There'd be Zergs in every direction around those cells, like with Launch and Arctic, but we'll have a look and we'll confirm. As expected, HQM Quarry will be completely walled off. There's an island out there that I reckon will have a monstrous zerg on it. Somewhere around here has potential, but I also want to go check out P27. It'll be one of these two locations. I'll put a base and I'll just have zergs everywhere around me. It'll be fun. I continued to explore the deep snow over the next half an hour or so, taking mental notes where all the big zergs were setting up. I had landed on P28 Hill being the place for my starter, but that meant I'd be boxed in by a number of zergs and wouldn't be able to venture past the mountains next to me. There were no easy spots to live out here as a solo, but in this spot I at least had harbour, the water and the train tunnels to work with. With my starter location picked, I started to try and build it. I'm just going to build like a variant of a 2x1. I don't exactly know what it's going to look like yet. I'm just going to kind of wing it. But I need like a little mini farm, a cooking station, and like all the stuff that I'll need to farm out my main base, which will probably go around here somewhere. We'll just see how the area evolves over today before I commit to building that. But the plan for today is to just get this started on, farm up, get teas, try and make some plays, bit of PvP, try not to get raided, and see what the zergs do. Now the fun part. I'm going to go get some farm on this side of the hill while it's quiet, and then I'm going to try to sneak into harbour and get a sheet metal door. But there is that zerg that are living there, so it's going to be interesting, but I need it. I'm quite vulnerable at the moment. Right, I'm gonna go depot, and then we'll try to get this door. I see one, but I swear I heard another one in a different direction. And like the only big base near here at the moment, really the only base around the harbour at the moment, is that big zerg base in the water. I imagine they're with them out farming. So I need to be a bit careful, but I do have what I need for my door. I have to clandestine sneak into this recycler and out, I think. I can hear two of them, but they're running away from the recycler. This could be my chance. Interesting. I got a feeling they're kind of out on roams trying to stop anyone else building on this hill, because at the moment it's just me and them past that peninsula. I reckon they're going to try and protect it as much as they can. Hopefully they didn't find that door though. Alright, nice. I have the door on. I need to play this a bit smart. It's just me and the zerg at the moment on this little peninsula, and anything I do, they're gonna know who's done it. So I need to wait for a few more people to move in before I start to mess with them, because then I can just like change names and blame it on the other people. It's like a game of 5D chess on these servers to survive against zergs, and I can't be raided while I'm so vulnerable. I need to like have my stashes and all that set up. So we're gonna keep a low profile, play like a bit of a ghost at the moment, until I'm in a position to actually withstand any repercussions that come my way from messing with these zergs. With the first part of my 2x1 now completed, I took a break and got some food. I wanted to start collecting comps and resources to build up my 2x1, but I come back to something that was going to make that process a whole lot harder. What is going on here? That tower is like on my 2x1. I don't know if it's a tower to grief the guys on the water or them putting a tower to keep control of harbour, I'm sure we'll find out very soon. I gotta be like deathly quiet. I can't make them think I'm a part of whatever's going on, because I'm not. I actually don't know what's happening. But I must spawn outside and have a look. My best guess is, the guys in the water have moved in, built this tower to watch harbour, and the zerg across the water have said, nah, that's not happening, and they've come raid it. But it's like right next to my 2x1, so hopefully they don't go and raid that as well. Yep, I think I was right. I'm glad they've raided it though, because going in and out of harbour from my 2x1 with this thing here would have been a mission to say the least. I'm pretty sure they would have been the guys that had done it. I don't have any names from that base yet, but they're like a pretty big zerg in the area. Probably the ones with the rockets. So while it's a bit calm on harbour, I'm going to make the most of it and get a few more doors and some cloth and other comps before it inevitably kicks off again. Well, that's not good. Oh my god. It wouldn't be US Moose Monthly without a massive ass zerg rolling up on your base within about an hour of building it. They've tried to build the Grief Tower, got that raided, now their main base is getting raided. I think that guy that shot at me with the suppressor was one of the zerg guys coming over to scout it, and they've like driven their tugboat around to do the raid. I actually thought these guys would be a big issue for me, but clearly not. The problem now is the zerg is a big issue for me. I think the second my 2x1 gets any bigger, it'll get raided, so to be a bit smart about how I upgrade this base. While my neighbour was getting raided by my other neighbour, I used the opportunity to get a few runs in at harbour to get my tier 2 workbench. I then did some farming and started to look at building up my 2x1 and also trying to find ways to hide and spread out my loot. I was one wrong move away from very likely having a big zerg on my doorstep. I had to be smart about what I did next. Just gonna chuck some honeycomb on this base and then make some P2s. I got my tier 2 now and just head down to harbour. I need a lot more comps for garage doors and the farm and all that sort of stuff. There's a lot of other little bases around me now as well, so I can actually maybe fake that I live there. And I think the clan in the water hasn't actually quit. There's still a couple of them jumping around down there. So I can take a few more risks, but I need to be a bit careful. Nice. I think we'll keep it about this big for now. We'll sheet metal up the roofs when I get it. But for now, I think it's time to go to harbour. Uh-oh. I don't really have a choice here. I'm gonna have to go the long way home. But I might have actually made a mistake here. That's definitely the clan. Oh well, see what happens. I don't know if they've got my name from running out of that base yet, but I'm just going to try and act like I'm running towards the base in the water, and I'll do a U-bolt up the hill. It's about as best I could do, but this could backfire big time. I mean, I was hoping they wouldn't know. I haven't made any noise. I don't think they've killed me yet and know where I live, but I guess not. It's pixels at the end of the day, but I think I'm about to be raided.
Listen, man, we aren't gonna raid you. It's wondering why you go so close. Get the waste your man.
I'm just solo, like, trying to learn the game. I haven't been playing Rust that long.
We are a friendly team.
I want to believe it, but like I've only been playing Rust for like a week, and so far I have not encountered a friendly team.
Yeah, you've been playing Rust for a week and had these skins, right? Damn, you're wasting your money, bro.
I like Alone in Tokyo, so I bought his skins.
I don't think you're very friendly, dude.
What do you mean? I don't really know the game that well. Tells me you guys aren't very friendly.
Dude, I promise I'm not gonna raid you.
I don't know, I've had people break promises to me before.
I'm friendly, dude. I'm very friendly.
We don't lie. That's.
I don't know, I feel like I'm being lied to if I'm being honest. Freaking satchel clipping. It was meant to go out the doorway. I didn't have enough to make smoke grenades, and to be honest, there was likely not a whole lot I could do given there was probably a bunch of them outside and any efforts to defend this base would have been futile. This was a prime example of me being careless. One kill and the allure of those precious tactical gloves got the better of me. I wasn't going to repeat that mistake again, and thankfully in this raid I didn't really have a whole lot to lose. After they'd finished the raid, I respawned in to see if I could try and get my base back. I was committed to living in this area and putting down a main base regardless of how long it took and how many times a massive zerg rolled up on my doorstep. I think I can get this back. Actually, I think I might get the stuff ready to just like quickly seal it before I break this so no grubs can get in here. I actually didn't get it. At least I saved some stuff. You know, something tells me this isn't going to be the last we see of them because I am not moving. They can raid this thing 20 times over if they want. I'll still be here. I'm even going to put externals on it. This is my place and my home. Alright, I fixed it up as best I could. The plan now is to actually put a few stashes down or find ways to hide loot in the event this happens again. And get my tier 2 back. And then look for a main base spot. I think someone's trying to raid him. I don't know if that fob's big enough, to be honest. The only group who I could think that would be doing this is the HQM Quarry group. But even then, these guys have a lot of numbers. That actually gives me an idea. I've still got my bag up there from start of wipe. I won't be able to sneak in while they're occupied down here. There's no way they win this raid. That fob is nowhere near big enough. Oh, it is them. They're coming back in that attack alley. I reckon they've just turned the quarry on and just kind of left it. Just gonna make the most of this while I can. I'll take that. Oh no, I've been caught. I don't know why this is so funny to me. He's just gonna go up and down the single day, I reckon. I think I've won the elevator duel. My treasure. I wasn't too sure who won the raid on my neighbour, but I did catch one of them out jackhammer farming not long after, so I assumed they were still very much active. The issue was I had an even bigger zerg building a monstrosity of a base on the other side of the water from me, and they were out roaming in force. I was now well and truly locked into my little peninsula surrounded by zergs. I didn't even finish my starter yet, so I buckled down and got to work on finishing that off, so I had a safe spot to hide my loot, but that was going to be harder said than done. Alright, we got the tier 2 back. I'll put a second floor on for furnaces, and I want to chuck an external on this base now that it's a bit bigger. It will attract a bit more attention, and if I do get raided again, I at least want to be able to get it back. And with different floors and stuff, I can hide loot behind garage doors. So yeah, I'm going to chuck this external on, and then we'll start setting this base up a bit more. I mean, I'm not proud of it, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do to make it work. There's no way I'd be putting the main base here, it's too uneven terrain, but just to start it with the external, I can make it work. Honestly, this kind of belongs in like some sort of art museum. It's not my greatest piece of work, but it is art. Someone's getting raided next to me. I don't really know that name. I don't know which like big group they belong to. The problem is though, there's not many bases left here. So either they're roam raiding or they've got a bone to pick with that guy, but it's concerning. I've at least got an external and I don't really have a whole lot to lose. I only got raided like 2 hours ago. I have my tier 2 back and that's about it. And the farm I stuck behind a door. We'll just keep working on the base and we'll see what happens. I got raided again, having only just rebuilt, and the only guns I had at this point were the P2s that I had in my inventory. I thought they had to go through one more wall, and I was going to try a sneaky smoke seal, but like last time, it would have been a futile effort given the numbers that they had. I will add though, I don't even know where I got shot from, even after slowing down the footage. This time around though, I was a little more prepared, and I'd hidden all of my decent loot upstairs behind a garage door that they did not find, so I didn't really lose that much at all. I spent a bit of time fixing up the base, did some farming, and took this as a sign to go to sleep. That was day 1 over, and I'd already been raided twice. I was still committed to building a main base in this area. At this point, I was like a cancer. The zergs could raid me 10 times over, but I was going to see a main base through to completion. If that's what day 1 had in store for me, I was equal parts excited, but also dreading day 2. That's a good start. Looks like we survived the night. I suppose everyone around here who probably was going to raid me did yesterday, so We'll head down to harbour, get some comps and stuff. I lost a fair bit of that stuff yesterday in the raids. I need to get auto furnaces and all that set up. And I think we'll go for a bit of an explore, just see how things changed over the night. And we'll try and look and scout out an area for a main base. Hopefully we can get one done. I'm getting deja vu. I've kind of half come down here to get loot, but also just curious to see how many people come and try and counter cargo, just to gauge the activity in the area. Because if heaps of people run over, then all these bases around me, including the zergs, are still very much active. Alright, well, that confirms that. The area's definitely still active, which will make farming out of base hard, but I've committed to it. I didn't 100% fix this base last night. I left the back exposed, as if it had just been recently raided, so it wouldn't get offline. But I did do a bit of farming last night. We're going to take that and add another floor on, which will become the farm, and just fix the honeycomb. And then I think I'm going to go for a bit of a lap, and just see like what zergs are left over from the night. Because a lot changes overnight on these servers. There are people everywhere. Like, this server doesn't really drop its pop. It stays around 700 or so for like the first week, just because it's a monthly server that doesn't wipe blueprints. It just means chaos. Nice. Base is looking pretty good for now. Got a few spots to hide loot, and I've got an external. Just gonna go for a bit of an explore now. Just go see what happened overnight. That's all new. That's not that bad. That's a bit of an insulator from the HQM quarry group, so that's at least somewhat of a win. I need a bit of time before someone tries to raid me again. Well, there you go. They're still active. That's a problem. Honestly, it doesn't look like a whole lot's changed. All the zergs are still active, especially the ones next to me. Got a few more bases popping up overnight, but other than that, I got a feeling day 2 is not going to be a whole lot different from day 1. So I'm just going to make some SAR kits and go out and start getting what I need for this main base, or at least the prep for it anyway. He had a wetsuit on. I reckon he's jumped in the water. Oh my god. Deja vu. I bet she's a part of the Zerg. But I have spots to hide loot now, so it's not that big of a deal, but this will actually go a long way. The rebuild was off to a good start, and I was starting to get back on my feet. I noticed a base right next to me that popped up overnight, and it ended up being another solo. I from time to time do party up with solos near me. I don't help them, and I don't ask for anything in return. It's just you solo brothers need to stick together. I had a new friend, or so I thought. Oh, I'm being raided. It's my freaking neighbor. Wow. Right, there's not really anything in the core. All the good loot's upstairs, so I can kind of take my time with this, but I also think he's getting countered. So if I just time a smoke grenade right, I reckon I can seal whatever he's done downstairs. He is getting counted hard. Thankfully he started that, like, pretty much as I got back. Otherwise that could have been interesting. All of my important loot's upstairs, but still. If he found nothing down there, he might have looked up. But he has been counted pretty hard, and there's now an attack heli here. This area, I'll tell you. I need to go have a chat to Ellison, I think. Where is he? Where is he?
Not the one that was waiting.
He definitely was.
Yeah, it is. We were up in the snow. It was that big group that was waiting.
Why'd you raid me? Ellison? Don't run from me. Ellison is dead to me. Well, like, get trying to just act like he didn't do it, but he's trying to tell me he wasn't involved, yet he's just standing in the raid base in the same party, and he killed me out the front. I mean, you know, it's good to be creative, but you at least got to put some effort into it. For the third time in about 14 hours, I fixed my base up yet again, but thankfully because I'd moved everything upstairs, I lost nothing. After the betrayal of Ellison, it was time to get serious about building a main base, and for that I would need a few more components for turrets, doors and other deployables, so I went to the best place near me to get them, the train tunnels. Alright, my current goal over the next few hours is to try and get everything I need for at least the shell of the main base. If I can get that down, we're making progress. I think I can hear people. This is massive. I actually need these really badly. Oh, it's my neighbour. That's karma. Things are starting to turn around. My wipe was really starting to turn around, and I was now sitting on a serious amount of comps, farm, and now a couple of AK kits. I spent a lot longer down the train tunnels and farming than what was shown in the previous sequence, and I was now pretty much ready to at least build the shell of my main base. As I was preparing to scout out a location though, some interesting developments happened next door. That's not me, is it? I think that might be Ellison. Do I try and run with it? I mean, it's only 5 rockets. Yeah, I might as well have a look. It's just pixels. See what's down there, eh? I got a lot further with a DB than I thought, and maybe with a few more rockets I could have gotten some loot out of it, but you win some and you lose some. I tried to go back, but the area was just completely full of grubs, me included, and the raiders cut their losses and flew off with their heli, and I didn't have any boom left to finish the job. Now my starter had a lot of loot in it and it was pretty much ready to build a main base, so I set about doing that before I lost it all. I reckon I'm going to do my main base here in the water. If you remember back on Wipe Day, there used to be a group in here that got raided. It's fully decayed now, and this is all free TC priv, and that bridge is mine. So I think the plan is here, but the problem is the second I build up any base, the zergs around here are going to raid it. Like they've shown it over the last 2 days. If you build a base bigger than 2x1, you get raided. So the second I get it down, I need an external on it straight away, and then I pretty much just need to lock in, because it's probably going to get raided. But I will build it. Mark my words, I'll have a main base finished here on this lake. I was planning to go with a completely different base design, but given how this wipe's gone so far, and how I think it's going to continue to go, I'm going back to Old Faithful. Yes, the old base I designed that's tried and tested against Zerg raids. I think I'm going to need it. I think Ellison's getting raided again. See what I mean? It doesn't take much for them to try and raid you on this server. Alright, I have a shell. I don't know what that is. If they're TC griefing me or if it's a raid base, but I've got 3 turrets in that core that I need to get down pretty much right now, because if that is a raid base, I stand no chance. I had a 4-man move in right next to me the second I started building my main base. They added me to a group and we got chatting. To summarise, they pretty much said if I expanded any more or messed with them, they would raid me. While they weren't degen level toxic, I wasn't going to let a group move in right next to me and then just bully me out of the area like that. My strategy was to join their party so I could keep an eye on them and either wait for them to get raided, which was likely in this area, or wait for them all to log out and then I would just finish my base in one build session. Once I had 3 externals down, I'd be quite happy to go to war with them for this lake, but until then I was extremely vulnerable, so instead of shooting myself in the foot and getting TC grief, I decided to play the slow game. There's a bit of a complicated situation going on here. I'm playing with chat off because even if I do lobby up, I don't like chat on. But I have convinced them to let me put 1 external on because I don't want the whole base to be lost. And I just sold it as if like, I've still got my main loot in there, can I just put an external on to protect it? So I can build this, but if I go any further or start to mess with them, they'll definitely raid it. So I'm just going to wait for them either to log out or get raided. But I will be building this base into my full main base whether they're there or not. Should do for now. I have, at least it should protect the core, and I've moved a lot of my build materials back upstairs into the starter. It's just a matter of waiting for them to log out now. They are American, so I can't imagine they'll be on for a whole lot longer. But for now, it's just keep a low profile, and then when they log out, I'll build the shell of my main base. I might have to raid one of their externals too. But for now, it's just play it smart and have some dinner, because I'm hungry. This will be interesting. I don't even have a shooting floor. I did pretty well considering I had half an AK kit and like 5 smoke and 5 normal grenades. The base didn't even have a shooting floor. If they hadn't brought their instant rockets, I probably could have got another seal off. But thankfully, I put that external TC on and it actually saved the base. These guys did TC grief me on the other side, but they forgot to repair a stone foundation, so I did not need to wait long at all for a TC to decay. I fixed the base up as best I could, and with having the existing external, I still had upkeep. I needed to sleep, so I had a much shorter sleep than planned. If day 1 and 2 were like this, where I was raided 4 times already, I was a bit unsure about how day 3 was going to go, but if it was anything like the other 2, I was expecting more uphill battles to finish this base, including probably a big ass zerg paying me a visit. I haven't been on that long. I just seen my neighbours offline, so now's the opportunity. I haven't really slept a whole lot, and these have been really big rust days, but we'll power through. The TC's decayed now as well, so if I'm ever going to finish this main base, it's now. I've moved a bunch of loot down into my external hut, and I'm going to build it out from there. I'm going to start with doing the turrets again in the core, and then that way if someone does see me building and try to raid me, I might at least be able to defend something, because the zergs here are all still very much active, and the second and even get wind of me building this base, I reckon they're going to come and try and raid me. So I've got a very short window. It's early morning American time, my teammates are offline. It's kind of now or never. Nice, the holes are patched. So I'm to actually start building this thing. With the shell of my main base completed and about 8 auto turrets, we're in a much better position now to defend a small raid. The base was not honeycombed yet, but it was at least a start. With the shell now completed, I dropped group and awaited the inevitable fight with my neighbours. With the base now having been progressed a bit more, I took the chance to go on a bit of a roam to gather intel on what had progressed through the night. That is a base and a half. I've been checking on it every now and again, but that is... I'm curious how many people live in that thing. It's got to be like 30 plus easily. That is just insane. So yeah, this is my other set of neighbours. And now I've got like a bigger base, I might actually attract attention from them, whereas earlier I was just flying under the radar. I've also heard that Motion's on this server somewhere, in the snow. So, hopefully he's not one of these two. I don't think he is, he doesn't play in groups this big, but yeah. Zergs everywhere, what can I say? Well, that's, it's not my first radio. That usually only means one thing. Could be grubs, but unlikely. I'm going to try get another wind turbine up so I can get a few more auto turrets. Then I'm going to try do a farm run to get enough metal to honeycomb this base. It's still quite vulnerable. But yeah, that's not a good sign.
Grumpy, CLANS gang, it's us.
Oh, it's the neighbours. They're probably a bit surprised. That was a bit of a false alarm. I honestly thought I was being raided, and I don't know whose shops these are. They must be these guys because they were going up to defend it. But I really need to honeycomb this base, but getting out to do a farm run now is going to be a lot harder. The next few hours I spent sneaking out of the base doing farm runs, trying to get the last of the stuff that I would need to fortify my base. But my neighbours were also building up their base and were going to become a big problem. I wasn't too sure how this was all going to end, either them raiding me or us getting raided by a Zerg, but I knew one thing from day 1 and 2, that it did not take much to get raided out here. Are they here for me or my neighbour? Oh no, those windows are definitely pointing at my base. That mini flew off towards the Zerg on the hill. This could be that big Zerg. Well, wish me luck. These grenades are putting in work. I've gotten so many hit markers. They'd be slowing them down a lot. I don't even think they've breached the inner ring yet. They've breached at least one layer of the core. It's designed that wall collapses when that happens. I think they'd have a lot more rocketers, but they're eating a lot of grenades. Haven't breached as much as I've thought. I reckon the nades have really slowed down their pummel. They have started taking HP turrets though, so they might actually try and re-breach. Going from other external. This is going to be a siege raid, I reckon. getting counted. I don't think this is over. They've taken both my externals, and they could have won the counter. I don't know what's going on, but I'm just going to indiscriminately kill anyone near the base because the counter raiders can continue it. Just everyone needs to just not exist near me for me to win this. I think they just tried to mini-bomb back into their fob. This is good though, like it's buying me time to just fix my base up a little bit. Like the whole server's rolling up. I don't really know what's going on out here, who's won what or whatever, but I'm going to pick some turrets up and move them around and kind of try and fortify this side of the breach again. They do have my externals, which concerns me. They could go for round 2. I think I'm about to be siege raided into the ground. I didn't have enough time to set up anti-siege, so this is going to be interesting. I'm going to try and fix my base up in the dark as best I can, but if this is a proper siege raid, I can't defend it. I don't have the materials or the anti-siege for it. So we'll see if we get hit again. If we do, it's looking pretty grim. After losing in the conventional raid, then being countered, they swapped up to a siege raid. This honestly was the best chance they had of removing my base, considering the circumstances and the fact I didn't have anti-siege. The raid at this point had been going on for 2 hours and there was not a whole lot left that I could do. They kept running in naked, HVing out my turrets, and I had no seal materials left, so I decided to call it there. I still achieved my goal of building my main base despite all the uphill battles from the previous days. At this point, I was completely exhausted, so I just went and had a power nap, but a part of me was curious to log back in a few hours later to see the state of my base. Oh my god. It kind of decayed that much, it hasn't been that long. Maybe a bit on the backside where they took the external, but I think that's just a result of pretty much being MLRS'd over and over and over again. I mean, at least I achieved my goal of building my base. It didn't last long, and there's not much left of it, but I got it done. Next wipe, I'll be on a main server. I don't know which one yet, it's just how the schedule falls. But I think I'll call it there for this wipe. There's not much left to do. If you like what you've seen, like, comment, subscribe, do all that sort of good stuff. Thanks for the continued support, and I'll see you next time.